Paltrocast.
Good morning. Is the time zone you're in good morning or are you
Yeah. We're mountain time. I'm a couple hours. I don't know where you are.
Long Beach, Long Island, New York, where I saw you play like probably a month ago at Jones Beach.
Yes. Eastern. I was born on Long Island.
You were born on Long Island?
I was Manhasset.
Wait a second. Okay, so they've got that great hospital there. That is a ritzy town. Why were you
Oh,
there?
my dad was like in the National Guard or something, I think, and he was there. So,
Okay,
but I
so
was only there for a while. Then we moved back to Western Mass.
Manhasset gave the world you, Chris Jericho, just a few notables right there.
There you go. There you go.
But the new record, let's talk about that first. Confessions of the Fallen. How long did you have to keep it a secret that Stain was making this record? Because it's an interesting thing that it's coming out through Danny Wimmer's label, which we didn't necessarily, the fans know was happening, etc. So it's like a secret on a secret.
Oh, there you go. I don't know that we ever really tried to keep it a secret. I think we just kind of went about our things, and when it came out, it did. I don't think there was no plan behind what it was. And the thing is, we actually signed it, man. I mean, like pre-COVID, I want to say we did. I mean, so and then we had this whole plan for 2020. Then obviously everything kind of shut down for everybody.
Right.
And fast forward to 21, we were on tour with Korn, and I was able to really, do a lot of work and really, kind of find a direction that we were going to kind of go in.
That's another tour that I saw at Jones Beach. I think I'm 2 for 2 on these recent Stain tours.
Nice. Thank you.
Which is great to see. But how long has the record been done for?
I mean, I remember it was mixed this year. So, I mean, we finished it early this year. Aaron had some vocal stuff to do early this year. Then I actually remember I was in Florida for a while, and I remember getting mixes when I was down there. That was like February, March.
And you did play material from that live at Jones Beach, which was great to hear. So how many songs was this pared down from this record? Because I believe there's 10 songs on the record, and very rarely does a band write 10 songs. Granted, there's the Japanese bonus track, but usually it's 10 from 22.
Yeah, and honestly, it kind of was that this time, where usually we write 10 and that's 12, and that's what it is. But no, I had a lot of stuff kind of kicking around that we sorted through, and actually it really, on that tour with Korn, wrote a lot. Yeah, a lot of those songs are written on that tour. And
Wow.
it's really an opportunity to, Aaron's on the road all the time working. You know what I mean? So kind of hard to pin down. So at least there we were together, and I was able to actually get him into a room and, play him some of the ideas and, see what he thought, and really kind of get a direction for, where the record was going.
Are you one of those bands where it's 4 members living in 4 different states, so therefore riding on the road is possible because that's the only time you're in the same place?
Yeah, that's exactly it. I'm in Connecticut, Johnny's in Mass, Sal's in New York, and Aaron's kind of back and forth between Mass and Nashville.
Got it.
Yes, pretty much it was, and that's why this record was made a lot differently than any of the other ones. I mean, we were never really in a room together working on it at any time. Johnny and I did our guitars, and we have a rehearsal warehouse spot in Western Mass. Where we had a studio that used to be set up at Aaron's house. He sold that house, and so all of our stuff got taken out of there. So we kind of have it set up at rehearsal now. And Sal did his drums in LA, and Aaron did his vocals in Nashville.
Wow, that's very rare. These days it's usually, okay, we got 2 weeks, we're gonna make it in somebody's home, and that's that. So
yeah, no, it was really spread out too. I mean, like I said, Aaron's working all the time, so it was kind of, working around that schedule a little bit.
Well, Aaron has the solo career, you have Saint Ansonia, etc. When you're writing something, do you know right away, okay, this is for Stained or this is for Ansonia?
No, I kind of just write, and whatever I have at that time, I don't know. No, for me, I just kind of write stuff, and I'll play it for people and see what they like, and kind of try and figure it out from there.
Got it. do you have room for compliments today, or are you maxed out already with doing, press?
No, go right ahead. It's fine.
Okay, so watching you live at these Jones Beach shows, you immediately, or at least I do as a musician, I watch you and I go, oh, that is an underrated guitar hero that people don't talk about as being a guitar hero. In other words, you seem to be improvising a lot with your lead parts live. Like you could play it differently night to night. And Aaron's more, the first three frets of the guitar, and you're all over the place and you're doing leads. And where I'm going with that is, do you have to kind of hide the fact that you're a guitar hero, knowing that a lot of these songs are more detuned in a way? That's the first part of the guitar question.
Well, listen, thank you. I don't consider myself a guitar. I mean, a guitar hero. I really has always been like playing for the song and what the song, calls for. And I mean, there was a time, high school, college days, yeah, where I practiced 10, 12 hours a day and tried to be the fastest guitar player that I could possibly be. And, and then when I got out of college, I kind of started staying with Aaron. A lot of those bands didn't have solos, and I was kind of over it, to be honest with you, at that time. And I kind of really just kind of embraced, like, I don't want a solo. And then it kind of started to come back a little bit. So there's a few here and there if the song kind of calls for it, where we feel that it needs it. So yeah, as far as that goes, I mean, it's really just what the song, we feel the song needs or wants, where we want it to go.
So one of the things I just called out, and you could tell me I'm totally wrong, but a lot of the Aaron guitar playing is the first three frets, cowboy chords, if you want to be a snooty person. But those are the big hits. So Stain has these,
totally.
And then Stain has these ballads. Am I to assume that if it's a heavier song that goes above the third fret, you started it? If it's the first three frets, Aaron started it?
I mean, that's not always true, but I mean, it's probably a safer assumption that that's the case, but yeah, it really depends. But yeah, it's hard to generalize it like that, but yes, obviously Aaron, like, it's been a while, so far away, but yeah, like something to remind you, like I came with that music and we wrote that together. The new song that just came out today is a ballad. I wrote that music on that Corn tour, actually, and we put it together. Actually, I think it's the last song we did, the song that came out today, Here and Now. I think it was the last song we did on the record. Had that song demoed and kicking around, but it was kind of like we got to that kind of laugh.
With tunings, are all your guitars at home naturally detuned or down a half step, or does that happen after in the demo process? Or in other words, if I walk up, are all your guitars acoustics around the house and standard tuning, and then it's different in the studio?
No, everything's down. I mean, because I've been doing that since Stain Star, which was '94. So I mean, all my guitars are down a half step. And then different tunings. I kind of settled in. I got so it became so much, and having so many guitars on the road with all these different tunings, I kind of settled in on one tuning, really on the last Stained record, and I've kind of stuck with that pretty much throughout. Moving forward, and now it's a 7-string baritone that I play, and I kind of stick to this one tuning.
Are you allowed to say what it is, or is it a half step?
Yeah, no, sure, no, it's real low, like the low strings down to F sharp, and then it's C sharp, D sharp, C sharp, and then everything's just regular from there. So it's really just the low 7 strings tuned down, to F sharp, and then the other strings like drop D, so it's C sharp. And so it's kind of like you can just bar the 6th and 7th string and the 5th and 6th string, and it's a chord.
Nice. So when I was a young guitar player, the first band that I noticed was detuning was Weezer, but then I realized, oh wait, Van Halen was detuning.
That's where I learned. Yeah, the half step thing was Van Halen.
Oh, so that was the first time that you really noticed.
Yeah.
It.
I mean, listen, it was a half step down. I mean, Led Zeppelin did a lot of alternate tunings. But yeah, Van Halen to learn those Van Halen songs, which was, I mean, he was like one of my I'm speechless. Can't even talk about the guy, how amazing I think, he was, and just how great he was. But yeah, learning those songs was really the first time. And, everything had a Floyd Rose back then. So tuning down a half step it was such a pain in the ass to do because it's a floating bridge, and it would take like a half an hour to like kind of get a guitar to play in tune. So, yeah, it was tough.
You talked about earlier how when you started out, you wanted to be the fastest shredder in Western Mass. Was it an Ingve?
No. It was the world. Western Mass had nothing to do with it. It was literally, yeah. And I said, high expectations.
Well, Nuno is Eastern Mass, right?
He is, yeah.
Okay, so less competition if you said Western Mass. Said Eastern, no one's going to beat Nuno. That's the
right. Yeah. There you go. Right.
But how serious were you into your shredding? Was it briefly an Ingve obsession?
No, well, so Tony McAlpine was my guitar teacher. He's from Springfield, Massachusetts. What? Yeah.
How was he was my guitar teacher?
Yeah, he was my guitar teacher before he signed with Shrapnel. I was playing with him like right up until he went and left for California. And I've been in the studio with him when he was recording stuff because we were friends. I haven't talked to him in ages, which I miss because I love Tony. Just a monster musician. I mean, probably the greatest I've ever met, But yeah, so he was my teacher when I was in high school, and really changed things for me and how I approach things. And I mean, really put me on this completely different path and getting to that, not leaving the house and just playing guitar all day and night.
So was there a bad demo tape that Mike submitted to Shrapnel Records in the early 90s?
Oh my God, there wasn't one. There must have been a half dozen. Oh, so, yeah. Like I could never find a singer, so I would just write instrumental music, play everything. Yeah.
So when I call you a secret guitar hero, you literally were submitting demo tapes to Shrapnel through shredding.
Yeah, for sure.
So what band took you out of that playing too many notes thing and realizing songs? Was it Cheap Trick?
No, I was always into the song thing, but I could never find a singer. It wasn't really until I found Aaron that I was like, oh my God, where have you been? You know what I mean? I was just always writing music. And, and I did have bands of singers that did originals and would play out, but it was never, and then I found Aaron and it was like, where has this guy been?
Totally. And his voice still sounds great today. It's not one of those things where you have to change the keys because the dude can't sing it 15 years later. It's great to see that. So going back, the first time I saw Stained was opening for Korn at the Nassau Coliseum, Long Island.
2000.
2000. Good memory like that. When that happened, Stained pretty much didn't have any ballads. It was
all we had was Dysfunction that was out, so there wasn't really too many. There were some slower songs, but nothing like ballady like Break the Cycle.
So the first tour when you had your first ballad, was it a relief in a way that you were going to be able to change up the dynamics in a way and alternate between the heavy and the soft?
I don't really recall. I mean, I felt there was even like some stuff. There was a couple of songs on the first record that weren't necessarily ballady, but they were slower. Like Home was on that record. There was a song called Me that was kind of like a little bit slower, dark, but slower. So, I kind of felt we always tried to have that in what we did, but it definitely got further the later we got in our career.
Got it. Well, two quick questions, and then I'm going to let you roam free. And the first one is, all we know about you is that's the dude who plays guitar and writes music and Stained and Saint Ansonia and pops up every now and then in an all-star band or jam or that kind of thing. We don't know much about you outside of music. What's the number two hobby? Where does the time go? Are you one of those golf heavy metal people?
No, not at all. Well, so it's so funny that you asked that because father, I would say husband and father is really my other thing that I do. But my son was out with me all summer, and it was great having him. And he started playing golf last year. So, and I haven't. I mean, when I was like in college, I would kind of go with friends here and there. I was terrible. I remember one time I went so low, I hit the ground, I hurt my wrist, and it hurt to play guitar, so I never played golf again. I'm like, I'm never doing this. And so with him being out days off, I was trying to. We did like top golfs all around the country with him. So, but no, that's just something that's more his type of passion. But no, really, it's my daughter rides horses. I mean, I spend a lot of time at the barn and at horse shows with her. My son plays baseball, so it's a lot of practices and games. Although this was the first summer that he hasn't played, he decided that, but that's neither here nor there. But no, that's it, really.
The exact opposite of the guy we see on stage, which is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and the last question, as a fan, what's the last concert that you went to for fun? Not because, hey, you're gonna be on stage guesting, or hey,
sure.
we're riding with the guy.
No, sure, absolutely. I remember because well, it's funny. Again, and it's more a kid thing. Because they wanted to go. And listen, I have friends, so but we went to Shine Down in 3 Days Grace concert, and there was another band.
Was that Spirit Box?
No, it wasn't Spirit Box. They don't have the band didn't have. They're actually really good. I think they don't have a bass player. It's not Dark New Day. It's an old band. Anyways, I can't. Day was in. Anyways, I can't remember the band. I apologize for the name. They're really good though. Kind of sounded like Linkin Park a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, they were good. But yeah, so yeah, Shy Down, Papa Roach, I took them too. And no, Papa Roach was another one we went to. That was with Falling in Reverse. So it's mostly I take my kids, because normally I might go down during the day and say hi to somebody, but not stay for the show. I don't know. I'm pretty fortunate to have played with a lot of these bands and seen a lot of them, and that's kind of been my life. So there's not a lot of time that I go to shows. But we did do a festival. I watched Highly Suspect the other day. That was great. I love that band too. So that was cool.
Wow. Okay. Surprising taste right there. I thought you were going to say, I only go see George Lynch related bands.
It's funny. I actually part owner of a venue outside of Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, and we're trying to book the Doc and George Lynch thing.
Is that the Jillian's at Fenway Park thing, or the?
No, that's Fenway in Boston. We're in Foxborough, which is south of Boston, outside of Gillette Stadium, where the Patriots play.
You see that New York ignorance with the Massachusetts people.
Yeah, I do. It's like 2 hours away.
Well, the bottom line, Mike, congrats on this new record. Looking forward to the next leg of the tour. Thank you for the time that you've given, and thank you for the many years of great music. Really looking forward to what's to come, whether it's Stain, San Antonio, or a Mike solo album one day. Shrapnel.
Ahoy. Yeah, there you go.
Well,
get Mike Varney on the horn.
Paltrocast.